Hello and welcome back. For those of you who are not subscribed, please do so. My name is Valentina, and in today's video we're gonna go over 15 life lessons that had an impact on me as a single parent. You don't have to be necessarily a single parent, you can be a parent. Here are 15 things that work for me, and I hope you can, take advantage of it. So number one is have a schedule. It doesn't matter how rough that schedule is. As I was saying in my previous video, have a skeleton, have a certain idea how your day goes. My teens, for example, they know that there's no visitors past 10 p.m. On a weekday when there's school the next day, and for my toddlers, everyone kind of starts to simmer down and get quiet at 7 o'clock because by 8 p.m. they are asleep. So by having this particular skeleton of a little bit of a schedule, it makes my life so much easier, and it gives me the opportunity to do as many things as I do because I follow a certain schedule. I do my routine when I'm getting my toddlers ready for sleep. My teens know that they need to kind of tone down with their computer, with their homework by 10:30 the latest. I'm trying to be, as modern as possible when it comes to them. But other than that, everyone kind of knows certain guidelines, certain time frames when it comes to this household. So it really does help me, and I'm hoping if you're gonna take that trick, it's gonna help you as well. Have a schedule. It's gonna benefit both you and your children. Number two is learn to say no. It's so funny how we're such people pleasers today, and it gives such a wrong perception, and our children take it from us, and they are very much shocked when we say no to them. So don't install that narcissistic behavior in them that they're gonna think that there's always yes to any kind of request. Teach them that there's nothing wrong in being turned down, in saying no. There's nothing wrong in when people are actually, refusing whatever offer you're giving them. So the same thing with your children is, if you say no from time to time, and I would say not like half, at least 30% of the time, if you say no to them, they're gonna kind of get used to a certain type of rejection, and they won't be as shocked when they face the real world that people do say no, because when you're a single parent, you kind of have to balance both. You got to be to a certain degree bipolar, not in a bad way, but you have to incorporate both, being a firm parent and being a an understanding parent. And sometimes you cannot have both. Sometimes you need to stand your ground and say no, and your children are gonna learn with time that this is a certain boundary that you're setting when it comes to your relationship with them, and it only is going to benefit them, and it's going to benefit you and for your relationship together. Learn to forgive yourself here and there, because the same way that you will praise your child when he does something good, the same way you're going to be supportive when he does something or nothing, or not nothing, but something doesn't go by plan. You will never put your child down. Then why would you do that to yourself? There is a child within you somewhere deep down, a child that even if your body grew, your soul, I'm hoping it's still of a child. And why would you put yourself down? So don't beat yourself up if something doesn't go according to a plan, if one of your children didn't go to sleep at a certain time, or one of your teenagers had people over later. Like, don't have I don't want to say that rules are made to be broken, but what I say is there are always certain way around the rules. So look outside of the realm of your rules, and have sympathy towards certain situations and towards yourself. I guess what I'm really trying to say is love yourself as much as you love your children, if not more. Another thing that is really important that I go by is don't let anger pile up. It's so important to let go of certain situations, of certain conversations that didn't necessarily go your way, or certain disappointments. At the end of the day, before your children go to sleep, you want to make sure that you made peace with everyone. It's gonna release you of certain burden, and it's going to release them, and they're going to have that much of a better sleep that night. My grandmother used to always say, never let your child go to sleep crying. It's such a, and I stuck by it through many years, and through all 4 of my children. I make sure that I do not let them go to sleep crying, or in a bad mood for that matter. That's why me and my teens, we have a certain thing that we do, I do with them. It's like a routine. Before they go to sleep, I ask them, is there anything for me to apologize for? Did I offend you somehow? Did I not listen to you? Was I not paying attention? Was I dismissive? And if there's something that they want to tell me, that gives them the opportunity to open up. If I was kind of busy during the day and I didn't pay attention to them, it gives them the opportunity to open up. And I do the same thing with my toddlers. I don't just ask them that kind of question. I just apologize right away, because I'm sure there's something that you did during the day that probably snapped or probably disregarded or didn't validate their feelings at some degree during a certain interaction. So make sure you apologize to your toddlers. It sends such a strong message that, mommy really understands me and knows how I'm feeling, so she makes that extra step and extra effort to apologize. Once they are gonna grow up, you'll see that they are gonna apologize to you that much easier. It's gonna come to them, because it's such a good habit to have, to learn to apologize when you are in the wrong when it comes to your children. Even if you are the grown-up, that doesn't mean that you make any less mistakes. Another thing that it's really important is accepting the situation for what it is. Whether you're a single parent, whether you are in a partnership, whether you are raising your children with your parents in the same household, it doesn't matter basically what your situation is. The whole beauty of going on and moving on with your life after a certain relationship didn't work out is accepting the situation as it is. Don't try to justify and explain yourself at every given point. If someone's asking you, oh, you're a single parent. Yeah, I'm a single parent. You don't have to say because after that. Because doesn't need to follow. You don't owe anyone an explanation other than yourself. So if you are comfortable with where you are, if you feel like you left an bad situation, a bad relationship, then you have a reason to be where you are at this moment. Your current situation, it's not your final destination kind of approach. So think of it that way, and don't feel the need to justify your whereabouts or anything when it comes to you to anyone else. Lower your expectations. It's so important. I don't mean to say it in a bad way. Still aim for the stars, but don't forget about the ground you're walking on. It's so funny that the way we are brought up, we're always encouraged to strive for the impossible. It's like the great American dream. You can do anything. Not necessarily. It's fine to have an ordinary life. And when I say lower your expectations, I mean, if you're gonna have your expectations lower just a smidge, just a little bit, you're not going to be as disappointed when something doesn't go your way. Or when it comes to your children, if they were doing a certain activity 2-3 years ago, when you're trying to incorporate it again after the pandemic, and if they don't seem as eager, don't feel that whatever you invested in them was a waste. It's never a waste. I guess what I'm really trying to say is when you lower your expectation, you are that much more lighter on your feet. You lift a particular burden of your shoulders and of your children. They are going to be that much more relaxed and maybe that much more open with you to certain interests that they have. Maybe they're interested in something else. So don't think that them having any ordinary interests diminishes them being extraordinary human beings. They're not. They're fantastic. Rely mostly on yourself and schedule your day according to your plan. So don't put 25 things on your to-do list and then get disappointed at the end of the day when they didn't get done. Be realistic. You know how much you can handle in a day. You know how many hours are in a day. You know what's your skeleton of the day, more or less. So plan around it and don't get, discouraged when something didn't get done. Just have your expectations according to your schedule, according to your plan, according to how many hours a day you get to actually do things. I guess what I'm really trying to say is that you are the first person you should be relying on. If anyone else can step up and help you here and there, that's always welcome. Then I always accept help when someone offers. But I always think that I am the main person to do the task. And other than that, I can rely on someone else. I can rely on parents or friends or a babysitter or my older children. Read a lot. Always read. Always be in the know what's going on in the world. I'm not saying go into details. I'm not that much into politics, into finance world, into religion. But superficially, I know what goes on in each area of this particular topic because, we live in the 21st century. You never know where you're gonna end up tomorrow, where you decide to live in a different country. You need to know what goes on in the world. I'm not saying be a fanatic about it, but generally you need to be in the know. And besides that, read books, read articles. There's so much information online. If you are not a fan online, buy that paperback book. I'm so happy my daughter picked up this habit. I come from a family of readers. Everyone in my family reads. My son didn't pick up that habit. My daughter, she actually picked up the habit of reading. She has already a pretty solid collection of books. She reads crime books. And she recommended me this summer when we went on vacation a couple of books. I was taking a break from all of those self-development books, and she gave me this particular series, and I enjoyed it. I was really surprised that she reads these kind of books. Not that I'm expect anything less or more from her, but I was really impressed, and I was thinking to myself that all of my talk that you should really read, and it's an amazing world. It's something out of this your circle. You can see world in a different colors, and it's interesting. So many characters and so many stories. And I was always thinking that it goes one year and comes out of the other. Well, it's not. So keep talking and keep reading, for sure. Keep reading. Do your best not to raise your voice at your children. I'm faulty at that. I feel like I need to talk in a higher voice because that's the only way they can hear me. And when I go and meet with my friends or with my family, they're like, why are you screaming? And I don't even realize that I'm in that mother mode, that I feel like I need to be a particular authority, and I need to have my voice higher because for some reason I think that if my voice is higher, children will listen to me. They don't. They listen when I whisper, and that's a proven fact. I already did so many different options, but I still sometimes when I'm kind of, tired, and I feel like if I raise my voice, I'm gonna get their attention that much faster. I will, yes, for a couple of seconds, but they won't listen to me after that. So whenever you get a chance and whenever you feel like you're about to snap, try to control your emotion, keep it down, and take a couple of breaths. It doesn't matter what your child did. I'm sure it's not the end of the world. Whatever seems to you, maybe because you're tired and they spilled the glass of milk. But always look zoom out. Look from a bigger picture. They're probably tired too. They were all day in daycare. They were all day in school. So don't just justify your own feelings and your own emotions and your own physical well-being. Even if they're children, if you think that they should have more energy, they don't necessarily. At the end of the day, they are human beings and they get tired just as much as you do. Don't date, and I'm not saying it as a bad thing, just don't date unless you're absolutely ready to. It's not just yourself, it's your children. You guys are like a small society, so you want to make sure whenever you bring someone in the house that person is going to be on the same emotional level, on same intelligent level. You want to make sure that it's a good influence on your children if you decide to bring a certain person. I'm not saying that my expectations are up here. We're all humans. It's human to err. But I'm going to be, when I go back into the dating scene, I am going to be that much more cautious and careful of who I bring into my world and who I bring to meet my children. One more important point is stick to your hobbies. It's so important to look outside the circle of family and friends and children. It's very important to kind of stick to those little things that brought you joy before the pandemic, or maybe before children. Maybe you were a biker, maybe you were a scuba diver, maybe you were a dancer. I was for so many years in the salsa scene, and at some point I was going out twice a week. To be honest, I don't know how I was doing it back then, but now I'm very picky about when I go back. The thing is, what I'm trying to say is don't leave too much of a gap, because it feels kind of awkward when you're going back. I felt kind of awkward going back. Thank God I have a close friend. She knows who I'm talking about. She was like gently bullying me. She would send a message here and there. By the way, I'm going dancing this Friday. If you feel inclined to do so, you're more than welcome to join. And that gentle bullying kind of pushed me to take that step and to go back to dancing, and I don't regret it. It's the best thing. I love it. It's outside of my circle, outside of what I do on a regular basis. it's good for your, for mine at least, for self-confidence. You still leave the house, you get ready. It's a bit later in the night. I don't feel the best maybe the next day if I don't get a chance to sleep in that extra hour, but it is worth it. When you're not doing it on daily basis, it is worth it to, spend that time just on yourself and with different group of people. Don't sacrifice your life fully for your children. You should really still have your interests, your friends, a group of people. You need to interact with adults as well. Don't disregard your children. I'm not saying for you to disregard them, but they need to be left alone from time to time, just like you need to be left alone from time to time. So try to lift up that guilt of your shoulders, because let me tell you, I've been living with guilt for the last 17 years. My son turns 17 soon. So it never goes away. But if you can diminish it to some degree and kind of put it down a little bit and cut yourself some slack and talk to yourself, Valentina, you're doing a good job. It's fine. It's fine. There's certain hiccups here and there. That doesn't mean it's not the end of the world. No one is perfect. No child is perfect. No parent is perfect. So you're doing the best you can. So talk yourself up. Don't be bad on yourself. Don't be bad. Don't be mean to yourself. There's a child in you that needs all that nourishing. Another thing that it's really important that I cannot emphasize enough is get really to know who you are. Keep a diary. Write things that really strike you that particular day, because we go from day-to-day experiences and we only remember like major things, not even maybe like half of them. Having a diary, like homework for life, it's just gonna give you that much more insight on what kind of a person you were a couple of months ago. So you always make it a habit to flip through your diary and go like a year back or like 6 months back and read through your notes and see what struck you that day, what your child said that day. I always make it a point to write that it takes me 5 minutes a day. I just sit at night in front of my laptop and I just write down major things that happened that day. And then sometimes when I read, I'm like, oh my God, I totally forgot that. And it kind of makes your life seem that much longer, because you are much more familiar of what happened in the past, what happened on Thursday, on July 21st, for example. It's a fun thing to do, and it's a fun thing to read it later down the line. You can actually read a couple of those things to your children if you were making comments about them. As a mother, it's really important to keep your calm and to keep your emotions under control. I'm not saying be a robot and don't show certain emotions, but a calm mother means a calm house. It all starts with you, with how you feel inside. And your children pick up on that so very easily. Every time you're in a bad mood, especially my son, he's very intuitive to my mood. So he would ask me right away, what's wrong? What's wrong? Like, are you okay? Maybe it's not always good to be that of an open book to your children, because they can pick up on any kind of vibrations right away. But on the other hand, I feel like it gives a certain level of connection with your children, that they are that much more attuned to you, which is going to help build a much stronger bond further down the line between you and your children. Thank you very much. I'm going to link down below all of the books, everything that I mentioned in this video. If you want to watch one of my classes, it's on Skillshare. It's about habits, how to connect habits between you and your children. But thank you for sticking around, and I'll see you next time.